like it's like it sucks, really sucks. But the silver lining is that like what I went through, what I put myself and other people through, has given me a gift of perspective and really shown how much power I do have, and I know that because of how badly I've hurt people. And that's a lot of power. And so I have a responsibility with that. And that responsibility is just to be the best version I can.
So it's just a few words from my co-host, Ryan Bathgate. Hey, listen, the title sponsor for today's episode is the Yatra Trauma Center here in Calgary, Thailand, where I reside. They treat addiction through the lens of trauma, and they do it very well. Of course, my healing journey started in Thailand when I came to experience their residential treatment program at the Yatra Center. Completely changed my life. Highly recommend it for anybody who might have some traumas holding them back in life. You can learn more about them and, of course, see a bunch of episodes where Mike Miller, the head clinician, is starred in if you visit HOApodcast.com/trauma. And in the meantime, enjoy the show. Hello, everybody. Watchers, listeners, supporters of all kinds. Welcome to another episode of the Ash Dawson Podcast. I'm your host, Chuck LaFlange, checking in from Krabi, Thailand, halfway around the world in virtual studio. Coming from Mission, BC, is my very good friend and co-host, Ryan Bathgate. How you doing today, Ryan?
Well, I'm pretty good. And as you can probably see, so's this zit in my forehead. So I'll just get that out of the way. Everybody, look at it. Look at it. Okay? Now,
I didn't even notice it. I've been talking to you for 10 minutes, and I didn't even notice a damn thing.
Now you're welcome. You'll be looking at that the whole show. Just look here. I should have put a circle around it. Yeah.
A goofy sticker or something. No,
yeah,
don't.
Put a smiley face around it or something.
Yeah.
Maybe I got clown nose.
There you go. Perfect.
Anyway,
perfect.
I'm really good. Here's the thing. Like, when you live in rhythm, life happens in rhythm.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm experiencing is like being value driven drives value.
Just that's funny because I just released that reel of you from a year ago talking about that, right? I mean, right.
That's so now the difference is I'm living it now. So that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, you said it. Okay.
Yeah. I did. No shame, man. Follow my arrow. This is my life. This is what happens. And like I was thinking about that today. Like, we can never be more than human. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I just wish I would get through my thick fucking skull sometimes. Yeah, I can never be more than human. I will always be fallible. I will let you down. You will let me down. That's relationships. You know what I mean? Like,
no kidding.
And like how I wish I could have more grace with it. Because of this, but I mean, expectations and whatever. It's all rich soil for cultivation. There's just like and like I don't know, like I do the daily reflections every day as part of this life I live, and like we're in a part. It kind of it goes like throughout the year. You kind of like go through steps and like themes and stuff. So like one day is kind of the same and a little bit different and a little bit different, and then and all of a sudden you're talking.
I mean, you still have to look to see what they are. You don't have that shit memorized. Fucking newcomer.
Yeah, let me read how it works. Oh, I don't need that.
Oh man, you know what? And I got to say to the audience, because it's been a while since I put an episode out. Last week we did try and record with our good friend Jimmy Wednesday, Jason McMillan, and we had some technical issues. I wasn't able to release that episode. Previous to that, I was sick, and then post that, I've had a wicked toothache. So this is actually the first episode that's been out in over a week now, and for me, that's completely that's craziness, right? So apologies to anybody that's missed it, but
you're slipping, bro.
Whatever.
You're slipping.
Back on track. Stop it. I've beat myself up enough over that, right? So, but, yeah, back on track now. So
rightfully so. People come to me for support. Yeah. Believe that they pay me. They pay me for that.
Eh?
Yeah.
That's funny. I'll tell you just a funny quick story. You just, for some reason, it just popped into my head. There's I told you there's one other Canadian in my Thai language class. He's from Victoria, right? Your part of the world.
Yeah.
And
represent.
Yeah. But he sits beside me in most classes anyway. He sits beside me. And a couple of weeks ago, I failed to do my homework. I never actually do my homework. And the teacher come around to me and couldn't Chris and she'd ask me something and I went, Dave didn't do his homework. He was so fucking mad at me.
Did he do his homework?
No, he hadn't done his homework at all.
Yes. Took a big bite of cheese there. Right?
Oh, yeah. Solid as a soup sandwich. Quick interruption for a PSA. And today's PSA is brought to you by FAR Canada. It's Families for Addiction Recovery. They offer a bunch of free services to people who have loved ones who are suffering with SUD. You can learn more about them at farcanada.org. Here's your PSA.
Hey, my name's Jamie Tall, and I want to talk to you about something I never leave home without. This right here is nasal naloxone. There are a couple different name brands of it. This one is called Revive. It is an emergency treatment for opioid overdose. You might think, well, I don't use opioids. Well, you never know whose life you could save. Someone who loves and someone who is loved. So don't leave home without it.
So, yeah. But that's my life now is, has been sick, but Thai language class, Mother's Day was this past weekend. So Monday was a holiday, which is normally a school day for me. So, yeah.
Mother's Day in August. Interesting.
Well, some different holidays here for sure. Right. So,
yeah.
Yeah. They don't observe Christian holidays. So we don't have Christmas in Thailand. We don't, Easter, none of that. So, yeah.
That's a bit of a trip, especially.
It is. It's a different experience for sure. That said, the major retailers do because why wouldn't they?
Because capitalism is powerful. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Everybody loves a good reason to put up some decorations and sell some more merch, right? But
yeah.
But as a country, they don't. It's certainly not a holiday. So the whole thing has been a very different experience for me that way, right? We're coming up on almost a year now, man. It's been 10 months this month.
Oh shit!
I've been out here, so yeah, it's happening fast. So
yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does.
I was okay. Okay. I mean, you've been to meetings. That's my world right now. So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? Like, there's things I can't talk about.
It's a recovery podcast, and I mean, you've been going to meetings, so it seems to me it's relative and relevant, right?
Yeah, I'm in it.
Yeah.
And
it's certainly relatable to a lot of our audience. So yeah.
And so, I was thinking about, I guess I can. This time, it's a lot of observing. I've been around quite a while, and it's new experience to be new with a lot of knowledge. You know what I mean? And experience. And so, you can see, I was actually talking to Jimmy, and he was telling me about the you get that 2-year your whole world is recovery, and everyone and everything you talk about, you know what I mean? And service, and you talk. Hi, my name's Ryan, and I'm GSR, and I have 13 sponsees. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, well, Jimmy, you actually say the same thing about you. That time when you're 5 years, and realizing that there's needs to be a part of your life, but not all your life. You know what I mean? So I could say the same thing about you, and I could make fun of you, actually. And he's like, "What do you mean?" Jimmy's like, "What?" And so anyway, I was thinking, you get to that space where you're saying things, I'm saying things. Let's put it back here, because I was definitely this guy that I really don't know what they mean. Give it away.
Yeah.
Turn it over. You know what I mean? And and so I was thinking to myself, it didn't. Well, there's smoke, there's fire. These sayings came from somewhere. They made sense to someone with substance at some point, And so like, and then I was like, okay, so I'm looking at the steps, and I have this like flash of like step 7. And I was always like, this is the stupidest step. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, I was trained by a Gestalt guy, so like, you don't take things away from humans, you only add to what already exists. And we've talked about that before, right? Like the word recovery. You're not actually recovering, you're growing more. And so so like step 7, I had this moment where I realized that I didn't hate step 7, I was afraid of step 7. Now step 7 is humbly ask God to remove all our shortcomings. I mean, that's the right. And so whatever that means to whoever you are, Sky Daddy, like whatever. And you know, dude, I'm lazy. I'm going to use that word because it's 3 letters.
Let's just use that word because it's Let's just say God, and because
it's one consonant. Like, it's so easy. So. And you know, my beliefs, I could go into an hour show about what that is. So you know what I mean, like
exactly, yeah.
But the thing about that is like that connection or that belief. I believe that's a really personal thing, and I don't think I need to justify that what my beliefs are to anybody. To be honest,
of course you don't. No,
very personal. And if I share that with you, I'm sharing a part of me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so anyways. My self-worth, I mean, I was at a point in my life that, like, if I walked by a mirror, I'd look down and say, like, you're an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, couldn't look myself in the mirror, but I saw my reflection and called it names. That's how I felt about myself, you know? And so the fear came from, if you took away all of
recently, we're talking about recently as you were going
No.
Oh, okay.
This is like way back when I'm learning this stuff originally.
Okay.
But like, I learned it through experience, but I didn't put it together until now.
Fair enough.
Does that make sense? Yeah. I did the actions, I experienced all of it, but it was in retrospect that it all started to make sense. Okay? And so, because I thought if you took away all my defects, then I would be left absolutely empty. I thought that all I was the shitty things I am. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, then what? And this is all, like, I think this was happening just outside of awareness. Like, it wasn't a conscious, like, I'm going to not have anything left. You know what I mean? It was like, that's how I felt about myself. Yeah. So it was more of a reflection of, you know, Alan Watts' everyday ordinary consciousness leaves out more than it takes in. And I think a lot of our consciousness is happening outside of our consciousness.
Of course.
Again, back to, like, phenomenology and all that stuff. But, you know, like, I mean, a sponsor used to tell me, like, there's one job for us in our life, and that's to enjoy the ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if I believe in something that, you know, is ensuring that I'm not lonely, and that is through a connection, through conscious contact, I choose to call God, and that's just today. I don't know what I'm going to call it tomorrow. My point being, the name doesn't matter. So it would never leave me with nothing. So what happens is this removal, and when I say that, you know, like we, you know, what does that mean? Give away your defects, turn them over, have God take them away. What does that mean? Yeah. And to me, what that means is, like, when I'm driving and I'm wrestling. Have you ever wrestled?
Not like.
Well, let me tell you,
right? Yeah,
it's freaking exhausting. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And so when I'm wrestling with something, it's because usually I have some kind of ego or disconnect or defect or whatever you want to call it that is attached to an idea that I'm holding on to. And if I just let that defect go, like, my ego doesn't need to be here, take your thing with it. And I'm just going to try and enjoy the day without that bothering me. Conscious process. And I just need the courage to do that, because I don't really know what's on the other side. You know what I mean? Okay. I need the willingness to be able to open my mind to a different perception. I need the sincerity or authenticity to be within my own experience and to be okay there. You know, so there is things that, so instead these defects go, and this courage and willingness and sincerity, they come in. And so now I'm gifted with values, with strength. You know what I mean? And that also, I'm doing this while I'm driving. I'm just like, that's not mine anymore. You know, like whatever I'm wrestling with, it's not mine. I don't need to be validated by whatever this is, or I don't need to fear the rejection and whatever it is, because everything I have is here, and I have everything I need. I don't need the outside thing that I was wrestling with in order to be okay. Because ultimately, why do we wrestle with things? Because we are trying to figure out how to be okay. Right? Like, right.
Math
and so
tracks.
Right. And so like case in point, I'm going through this thing, and I've been doing this constantly where it's like, because it, slaps you in the face, like ouch, and I did some fucked up shit. Like I'm a bad person sometimes, and I have consequences to that, and I live in those, but I don't have any control of part of it. And so I've literally been just like driving, and I'm like, no, you know what? That's not me. That's not mine right now. I'm responsible for that, and I will pay the piper when that comes. But I can't be in it right now because it'll suck the life out of me. So
can you do anything about it right now? That's
right. Right. And it's like, you know what? And I
conscious lifestyle choice that goes back a long time, right? For my mom saying that shit to me, when I was 20, kind of thing, right? But
but the words I use are, God, take this. Just take this. Like it's my friend sitting in the passenger seat. Just take it. Thank you.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
More cliche there.
Well,
Jesus is my co-pilot.
Yeah.
You just bumper stickered it, buddy.
I'm usually pretty good, and I fucking walk right into that.
You did.
We're all fallible, aren't we? So I will say that I don't
never
subscribe.
saw that coming.
No. I don't know. Let's just say I don't know enough about Christianity to be a subscriber.
So not going to be a fish on your bumper anytime soon.
No.
So
case in point.
Yeah.
Jesus is my co-pilot. but honestly, so that goes like that, and then I don't have to live in that all the time. But there's still stuff, like I still have responsibilities here in my past.
Yeah. And
so we look and start making this list, and I'm not going to get into the logistics of making lists. I will say that what I'm doing is I'm creating an order of responsibility. And what that really means is that I am creating an order of freedom that I can achieve by accessing accountability.
Okay.
Dialectically opposed to that is my state of victim. Less responsible, more victim. Less accountable, more victim.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. So, you ever heard the saying, the spirit doesn't grow in a victim state?
No, I don't think I have, actually.
No? Okay, well, I've been hearing it for years, but it is that you cannot grow as a victim. Victims don't grow. Simple as... Okay, step 9 is exactly that. You're taking responsibility for the things that you've done. You're not saying it's my disease, and you're not saying I was loaded, but I'm sorry. That the amend is to change or add to improve something. That's the definition. Changing the behavior to improve your life and your ability to be accessible. And that's an important part, because that, to me, that's the spirituality is connectability. Really simple. Yeah. When I'm in a state of spiritual enlightenment, I'm in a state of connectability to other human beings. When I'm not, it's the opposite, and I usually end up lonely, and we know how that goes. So, so that's like that 6, 7, 8, 9 in a really practical sense. How that works is like you give something up that is of deficit, and you bring in something of asset, which are your values. Yeah. Then you live in those values as you own your responsibilities. And often it's more of an honor. I'm honoring somebody by changing this behavior. It came at the cost of their pain, and that is really unfortunate. But it is enough pain to create change for the rest of my existence. and that change will always be represented by this person I'm making an amendment to. And that's how I can pay that back, is by living that amends throughout my day to day. And every time, if I really want, I can make that, when I feel that change happen, I know I did this in an amends, I can think of that person and what that person means to me. And now that person is becomes celebrated.
It really is honoring that person. Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're doing it for the rest of your life, or until you do another one, or in my case, until you stop going to meetings, relapse, have to come back, burn everything down, and then you go do a set of steps again. Whoa, the light just came on.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is those sayings, like turn it over, to me, that's what makes sense as a practical application. And give it to God or whatever, and I've always been like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? You know what I mean? But now I understand it in a practical way. It's no different than having a text conversation all day long. I'm having a conversation with whatever it is, and I don't even know. All I know is, dude, fucking worked.
Yeah.
And I can't talk about that, but it worked. And my the thing, and I was thinking about today, and it's like, give it over, hand it over, whatever it is. And I'm like, as long as whatever this God is does what I want, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, no, like I need to accept the outcome, whatever that might be, and trust that is the thing that needs to happen, because I don't need to look very far for evidence that when everything seems to work out the way it's supposed to for the better, when I'm acting in righteousness or of alignment or rhythm, whatever you want to call it, when I'm living in that space, things work out for the best. And I have a lifetime of that. When I do the right thing happens. Huh.
Yeah.
When I do the wrong thing, I get arrested. Like, I know we're like figuring out all of social issues for the history of time for every society that's ever existed, but it's true. The point is it's always like, I heard really a guy I look up to, and I said it before. He said acceptance is always the answer, and I was like, and it's about how much pain you want to go through until you get there. And that's your choice. It really is. And that's what I mean. Like, when I'm wrestling with that thing, I can't do anything other than cross the bridge when I come to it and accept responsibility for what the outcome is. That's all I can do. And in the meantime, I do my best in between there. Whatever it is that I can do better, I'm going to try. And as long as I'm doing that, like, and why is it any different? Like, people want effort. Outcome is less relevant in most cases. You know what I mean? People want to see you care. It matters to you, and you're trying. And honestly, and why would I be different about what I expect from myself? Because I always expect from myself perfect outcome.
Yeah.
And that is a fucking trap. Every time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's the epitome of deficit thinking. Like, it's a distortion. Perfection is not the most perfect thing in the world. Is beautiful for its imperfections. A spider's web, a fucking butterfly wing. You know what I mean? Like, those things are amazing, but they're not perfect. There's no like design, or there is, but I don't know what it is. It's cool.
Yeah.
Nature's cool. And I know there's no straight lines and right angles in it. So, anyway, so that kind of came up for me that, like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, I think it's okay to question the things that are coming out of your face. And I don't think in a cynical way, I don't think that's helpful, but in a curious way. And, like, what does that actually mean to me?
A curiosity lens is always a good thing, even if it's back at yourself.
It's an asset lens. Yeah. And
so it is, right?
And like I said, I did for years. I just would say what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, if anyone ever said, "What do you mean by that?" I'd be like, I don't know.
That's an interesting premise in general, and it's funny that you say that after a couple years and 5 years. There's a couple of landmarks that you've mentioned now, and then of course, just in this episode, just something that I've talked about in kind of the recovery thing is that metaphoric fence that you get to around whatever that is. For me, it was at almost on the 1 year to the day, where it went from being about the addiction to being about the recovery. Right? Mm-hmm. It went from being about not getting high to growing, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, and then all of a sudden, and one of the things that I say is all those things that you went, oh yeah, I know. It's like, but you don't. And all of a sudden, all of this shit started to make sense to me, right? These little nuggets that were being said, like, actually started making sense to me. So it's a funny thing that you mentioned that now.
No,
that continues to happen, right? As you go through the process and whatever. Right?
Well, no, but it's actually what you're talking about is, and I can't believe I forgot about this, but is so relevant to what we just talked about with those steps. Because really,
absolutely, yeah,
that's the part where you like meet yourself for the first time. You know, and I even say it in the book, like the way it's laid out is like, 6, you get ready, 7, you give something up and you actually get something back. 8, you get ready to be responsible. You need a whole step to be ready to do that. Clearly, it's a big deal. 9, you get responsible. You shed victimhood. You enter, and then it says, and then right after that is the promises, where it tells you, like, you don't regret the past. You, nor do you shut the door on it. You use it to help others. And like, those promises happen. And then right after that, it says on page 84, you've now entered the world of the spirit. Boom. Welcome to you. Welcome to freedom. Welcome to your world, And like, okay, part of me is like, this is all from a book written in 1939. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, I don't fucking care because I'm living it. You know what I mean?
It's so relevant. I mean, yes, it is, right? I mean,
it's my reality, and the synergy is undeniable for me. And maybe that's been different this time. Maybe I've never really experienced it in this way before. But I've also always been so cynical. Now it's about my growth, so I don't care.
I was just going to say, now it's just, you're a very different person than the last 3 times you've gone through this process now, right? Because I was watching a podcast with Jordan Peterson and Pierce Morgan. He's the British guy that was a journalist. Anyway,
no idea.
They're talking about Simon Cowell on America Has Talent. America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And about and Pierce, who's known Simon Cowell personally for 20-some years, said the moment, and he watches it, he sees it in the show. The moment he had kids, he changed fundamentally, and you can see that in him, in that he's not. It's funny that you used the word cynical, because that was one of the words that he used as well. He's, you know what I mean. He's much more. There's a lot that has changed about him fundamentally as a person.
Softens you, man. Like,
of course it does, right?
And it also, you want to talk about the noise, like. It's just like, you're just like, whoa, it's loud in here. There's just so much shit that doesn't matter. Like, that's loud and obnoxious. When before it was like, so cool, that's worse. It's just, it doesn't, I don't care. Like, for example, like, disease or not disease, don't care. Does God exist? Does for me. You know what I mean? Like, and the only reason why is because that's going to help my little girl, and I have evidence for that. And that's it. That's all. I don't care. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I believe. It doesn't matter if I think it's stupid or not. If it's fucking working for her and her, don't care. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. Right. It's like, before I would fucking plant myself on a hill of theory and die on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And you know what? I did that fucking 6 months ago. So it's not even kids. It's about getting myself back with kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, and honestly, I'm embarrassed to say that really, I'm going to use the word should have, because it is shamey. Should have happened the moment Mackie came into this world. And what did I do? I drank.
Yeah.
Fucking chicken shit. Yeah. Yeah. Like,
wow.
Yeah. Like, it's hubris, man. They think you can handle anything, and you don't know. It's like, yeah, of course I can build a house. Okay, build a house. I'm gonna need nails. Like, no fucking clue. Have a kid. Sure, of course I can have a kid. I'm gonna be the best. Now what?
Yeah.
oh, just let me look at my template. That's not a good fucking blueprint. Like, uh-oh. Okay, we're starting. Get the crayons.
Yeah.
We're starting a new blueprint.
Yeah. No kidding, eh?
Yeah, so like it's like it sucks. Really sucks. But the silver lining is that like what I went through, what I put myself and other people through, has given me a gift of perspective. And right. and really shown how much power I do have, and I know that because of how badly I've hurt people. And that's a lot of power, and so I have a responsibility with that, and that responsibility is just to be the best fucking version I can, regardless of what you think and regardless of what I think. To be honest, because it really doesn't fucking matter, No. And if I start acting out on what I think again, I'm going to end up where I was. You know what I mean? Especially with the arrogance, like fuck, thinking I know something is just the stupidest thing I've ever done. I want to get just dumber and dumber,
and knowing you the way that I do now, right? And of course, we've talked a lot over the last year, right? Year and a half. I still see that being that is going to forever be your challenge, is keeping the ego in check. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in any sort of derogatory way, right? Dude. But like. It's going to be because you're a very intelligent guy, you're outspoken, right? And so you put those two things together right away, and you're going to have some fucking ego challenge, right? So for you, that is something that you're going to have to make with intent, and which you are very much doing now. I mean, you can tell, in it's obviously because your life is improving. Right?
And the other thing, Devin called is that the fucking silver tongue's going to kill me. Like I can talk people into shit. It doesn't make sense. And I just like own it like it's real, and you're like, of course, and Chuck, it's been like that from the time I hit puberty. I mean,
I understand 100%. I understand, right? For me, I went through anger management through my teens over and over and over and over again, right? And the reason that I went through over and over again was because by round 2, it was I knew exactly how to say everything and they wanted me to say, and then it was like, okay, you're way better, and then something would happen again, and I'd be putting holes in walls or hurting somebody, and I'd be back in anger management again, right? And I went through that over and over and over again, and I was probably 35 when it all made sense to me. When everything that I learned in all those different anger managements and with all those different counselors and psychologists and whatever else. I was probably 35 when it all made sense.
So
when I took it to heart, right? So,
here's the dichotomy of all that. We're smart enough to figure the system out enough to manipulate it, but stupid we can't see that there's a solution. Right. Put all of our energy into the wrong fucking machine.
Right? Yeah, into outsmarting it, right? Yeah. Instead of just like learning it, right? I'm gonna, like, I know better, right? So
this can help you. Crazy. Maybe this idiot, but not me. Right?
Absolutely. And I should correct myself. I think I was about 30 actually when it all started to make sense to me.
And I'm 46, putting shit together from when I was 22, man. Like,
yeah.
Like I said, I did that first step 7. I think I was 20, and it's making sense now.
Yeah.
6 years later.
Okay, I take back the highly intelligent part.
Yeah, I would too. I don't need that pressure. I want it. Color me dumb.
Yeah.
That's it. So, that's the ladies' trick. Keep the expectations low, and they'll be pleasantly surprised.
Oh, yeah. That's the story of my life. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. Yep.
I don't have a thing on here.
I don't have a thing.
Clock.
Give me a thing.
Usually clock.
We're at half an hour into it now. But
okay. So anyway, I don't know if that all makes sense to me from a practical aspect. Even though some of it is a bit hooey-fooey, and you know what? I guess my experience with that is like, how much pain do you want to go through before you just try it out and see if it works?
Absolutely. weird and randomly, a guy who I've never met on Messenger. There's a God thing maybe there for you, right? I talked to him once on Messenger years ago, literally 3 years ago, when he helped a friend of mine who was lost. So I don't know this guy. He's in Regina. I don't know him at all. Randomly messages me at like, what would be like 5 a.m, 4 a.m. your time kind of thing. Hey, I hope everything's going well for you, man. I'm like, dude, like, I don't even know you, right? But it's like, okay, well, since I talked to you, life's changed. I'm sober. I'm living in Regina, or I'm living in Thailand, not Regina anymore.
Not far from.
And he's like, yeah, I'd like to quit, man. I said, well, go to a meeting. Oh, but the God thing. So my response to him was like, how bad could it be compared to what you're doing right now? Right? Like, how bad could it, like, how anti-God can you possibly be compared to what you're doing right now, bro? Like, you're telling, it's 4 o'clock in the morning and you're texting a complete fucking stranger looking for attention because you're so alone and shitty. Like, go to a meeting, right? How much worse can it be? Just you know, right?
It's fucking, well, you know, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
It really is. And that's what I mean. Like, and I did this in sobriety for many years of sobriety where I was just like, I fought it all. I fought everything. I fought God. I fought disease. I fought fucking the steps. I picked them apart. You know, and then I became a counselor, which gave me fuel. You know, like, and honestly, like, steps are a little bit unethically, you know, like, let's just pour all your trauma out to this fucking Tyler. Concrete mixture.
Probably a fucking Chad. I don't know if you've been.
or even worse, Chaz.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you been following the memes at all on Facebook? The Chad thing, we've been picking on Chads quite a bit.
No, okay, I'll get in on it, but I've been, no, you know me.
Yeah. No. Chad's the one-upper at the sober house.
Oh, you know, I did see the one where it was like, I fucking moved kilos, and you're
like, that's Chad. It's always Chad, right?
Yeah.
And of course, a good buddy of that, a friend of the show, Big 12 stepper, actually, Chad Valier. Should actually get him on with you and I think that'd be a great episode.
Yeah, I mean,
he's out of Oshawa, I think. Okay. But he's been taking it quite personally as these memes keep coming out. So yeah, it's always a fucking Chad. Today I put one up. It's a baby with like face tattoos, and it's like, this is Chad at the recovery house. Chad the one upper at his first recovery home.
Right? I did see that one.
Yeah.
It was like
always Chad
date night or something. Date night at the recovery house. Yeah. Pretty funny.
Anyway,
Jimmy's good for those too. He's pretty. Yeah. You know what though?
Well, he actually shared one of those ones that I had done. That was a Wolverine and Deadpool meme. But that was, it was speaking to that. It's like, dude, man, like you're full of shit right here. You know?
Yeah.
I used to move kilos. It's like, dude, you've got multiple charges for boosting meat.
Yeah. Meat cheese.
Do you know who actually that line came from? Melinda.
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
Yeah. Melinda. Yeah.
Melinda's
she said that in response to one of mine, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm going to use that. And thanks for that. You know, right? So
Melinda came out in the boat.
I'd like to get her on with her. You and I. She is so fucking funny, and it's been well over a year now. So yeah,
let's make it happen.
Absolutely, right? Next week,
I'll put it.
Reach out to her.
I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
I love Melinda. Actually, I'm really looking forward to that. So make that absolutely.
Dude, she's hilarious, man. Like,
yeah.
Well, we had ball tournaments together a couple weekends in a row. So,
okay.
You know,
okay.
And Melinda's around. Melinda's around. She's around. Melinda's at the ballpark. You can hear her.
Absolutely.
Story time.
Yeah.
Oh, and she told. Yeah. We were out in the boat, and she told the speed bump story to our friend, and she nailed it. Like, it was so funny, man.
The speed bump story.
When she ran herself over their own car.
Oh,
the yellow
story. Oh my god.
The yellow fucking...
the yellow Pinto or something, whatever the hell it was.
It had like ducks on it or something. It was like a
I don't remember. Yeah.
And it was like I don't know. And then her boss took her to Denny's to make it all better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get her back on. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, can we shut out cakes here? Or is that weird?
I don't think so. As long as it's something that, I mean, there's the anonymity thing, right? So, right. But.
Well, yeah. Okay. But,
it's your judgment, right? Yeah.
Yeah. A good friend of mine took 8 years last night, Dan.
Dan, congratulations to Dan. Yeah.
And really good guy, really good friend, and he's worked hard, and I just wanted to give him a shout out for that.
Absolutely, we can. Yeah, I mean, people choose to be public about it or not, right? So, congratulations.
I know him, right? And he's pretty. He's like he is who he is, and that's what I mean. Like a lot of people are like that. I'm a little bit more closer to the vest with it, but here I am on the show, so.
Those days are gone.
Well, it's funny here. I'm fine, but like in out in the public, if I know you from meetings, like, don't say that. Don't take pictures and post them about this great meeting we're at with me in your picture. I don't like that. You know what I mean?
No.
Or if I have like a milestone, don't put it on Facebook, please. Don't want it.
Yeah. And that's all personal choice, right? So, hey, listen, why don't we move into my favorite part of the show? That's Daily Gratitudes. Hey, just a quick reminder that Daily Gratitudes are brought to you by AARC. That's the Alberta Adolescent Recovery Center in Alberta, Canada. They're doing some amazing things, treating teenagers and the entire family. It's a peer-to-peer support system there. It's absolutely next level. Check them out, guys, at arc.ab.ca. Here's your Daily Gratitudes. So what you got for us?
Did your Grateful for Alarms, did that go off?
Kind of.
Okay. Yeah.
Trust me. Just
right.
do it. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You know what? Okay. I'm probably gonna say for the first time ever that I am grateful for whatever it is that's out there, and has shown up for me in a big way. And it's the hardest year of my life, and by far the thing that's gonna catapult me into the next phase of my life that I believe will be peaceful and harmonious and just full of love and what's important. And having said that, obviously, my beautiful girls, Cammie and Mackie and Maria. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Dare I use the word blessed? Like, I don't. It feels weird.
Why not?
Well, because it has a lot of religious connotations to that word, but
so
there is
blessed. You're blessed. Right? It sounds a lot like blessed to me.
To be honest, right? There's a very metaphysical element to it for me in my beliefs. Yeah. So,
then blessed it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Man, life's good. Life's really good, and cool. I'm glad I made it this far. I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm. You know what? I'm thankful for whatever it is that's gotten you this far, buddy. I really am. Knowing that you've got good news that you're looking down the barrel of right now, that's awesome. Right? I'm genuinely very happy for you that you get to.
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, I've been crying all day, honestly. So
yeah, fair enough, right? I'm also grateful for a weird thing. My 70-year-old landlord guy found out I had diabetes, made me go to the hospital with him to get my blood sugar checked, because that's how they check blood sugar here. Nobody actually has the little machines and strips and all that. But he took me down there with them, and it was this big process, but it was like, just to have somebody that gives a fuck about it. I was really thankful for that. Right? Yeah, that's kind of nice. Anyway.
Did you have a name?
Also, I don't know. I can't fucking remember. I don't remember their names, right? Because they're not like, Western names that are hard to remember, right?
It's not Steve, Earl.
No, it's or Ken. Certainly not Chad.
Yeah,
right? It's whatever it is, right?
Well, let's call him Chad. Let's just call him Chad.
Yeah, fuck it. Chad's his name. Yeah. I'm also grateful to every single person who continues to support the show, like the show, talk about the show, comment on the platforms, do the things. You guys, we're growing faster than ever. Still, it's amazing and it's incredible, and I appreciate you all so much. Every time you do these things, you're getting me a little bit closer to living my best life. My best life is to continue making a humble living, spreading the message. And the message is this: if you're in active addiction right now, today could be the day. Today could be the day that you start a lifelong journey. Reach out to a friend, reach out to a family member, call in detox, go to a meeting, pray, go to church. I don't give a shit. Do whatever it is you have to do to get that journey started, because it is so much better than the alternative. If you have a loved one who's suffering in addiction right now, you've just taken the time to listen to this episode. If you just take one more minute out of your day and text that person, let them know they're loved. use the words,
"You are loved."
That little glimmer of hope just might be the thing that brings them back.
Bye.
I'm going to shit